the last 6 or 7 years, and bear with me here, I've become much more interested in the nature of the relationship between humans and other species, forces or whatever, animals, birds, trees, plants, the elements, nature, if you prefer to call it that. And I think that the genesis for this was when I was listening to a conversation with the novelist Richard Powers, and he was talking about his book, the Overstory, and how we should really think of ourselves as being part of life itself, not think of living in terms of our life. It's a sort of subtle distinction, but his conclusion was that that would sort of help us live more harmoniously. But the human obsession with power, with domination, together with our kind of selfishness, I guess, has led us down a very different path where anything non-human is deemed as being there to serve us. That doesn't make any sense to me. It just sort of feels sort of quite destructive.
Mhm.
It also made me think of our relationship with our senses. Hearing, seeing, smell, taste, and touch. And as hearing is the first sense that we sort of experience in the womb, maybe think about how we listen to music. Is it about and of course these aren't binary, but is it about pleasurable listening, or is there more? Should we be going back further into times past to sort of
Mhm.
reevaluate our relationship with sound? And
Hmm.
then when I think of sort of Guido of Arezzo and the monk who first started creating quote unquote music by plotting notes on a page, was that when music first became objectified as a sort of score on a piece of paper, and if you want to say this, kind of imprisoned, on the page? Should music really be more about, the creative act of improvisation where it shapeshifts every time you perform it? Is that how it keeps its energy? And then how do we listen to music with more intention? I'm slowly getting to the point. You'll be glad to know.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
still following. I'm still following.
still following. So,
Yeah.
so my guest today is about to unleash all that I can describe as this absolute beast of a record with his band Zoo. It's called Ferrum Siderium, which it means cosmic iron, and it really sort
Mm.
of sounds better in Latin than my
Yeah.
my bad
Yeah.
English. And it's really one of the most phenomenal pieces of music that I've heard in a long time. It's
Wow,
an hour and
thank you.
20 minutes of this like incredible energy that sort of bridges the gap between its creators, the vitality and of the natural world, and me, the listener. I once read music described as our umbilical cord to Mother Nature, and I just love that so much. And this record really does sort of feel like that. Anyway, enough of that. It's a huge honor to welcome Massimo
Uh,
Pupillo to the show. Massimo,
Thank you. Thank you,
finally,
Jim.
I can introduce you.
So, it's a pleasure to be here with you, to be speaking with you.
It's really good to see you. So, I mean, obviously that was kind of a lot and some rambling sort of thoughts,
Mhm.
but I know obviously for you and for the band, sort of spirituality music has long been a sort of driving force for you. So as far as this new record that's coming out, what was the sort of the if we start with what the genesis was for the record, and how did it all kind of evolve, and how did sort of spirituality sort of come into it for you?
Mm. Um, I'll answer to the last one first. Spirituality has always been, it's like imagine a train going on these two iron, how do you say, binaries?
Yeah, on the tracks. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, on the tracks, and one track has been music, the other track has been spirit, always.
Mm,
For me and Luca, uh, that's always been a constant thing in our life. Has been changing, has been in many developed in many different ways, in many different areas of research. But um, this is something you don't necessarily talk about in normal interviews, because No, this is your first question, but
Yeah.
normally it's not even the last one. No? It's something that
Yes.
something that generally you just don't are not able to reach, because you're
Yeah.
speaking about I was collaborating with Patton generally. So this is a very different area.
Yeah.
And so I'll say I'll come out for the first time officially. I'll say that I went to my first Vipassana retreat when I was 21.
Mm.
So, and I was reading Yogananda when I was 19.
Yeah.
And these not medals, it's just that somehow, and I think there's something before this lifetime, honestly, if I have to be honest, otherwise I'll try to be middle of the road and try to be like, oh, in normality, you don't say that,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to avoid that as much
Mm.
as I can,
Mm.
I mean, if I don't result offensive, then I'll say it like it is, and and the worst that can happen is someone looking at me and thinking this guy's crazy and he's out of his
Mm.
mind, but this doesn't affect me. I'm not. So I'll say it like it is, and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it depends from other lifetimes, possibly, and but there was a very early interest in spiritual paths. So I studied Eastern and Asian philosophy and religions at the Rome University. This
Mm.
instead of music, instead of conservative music, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not. In the beginning, I didn't understand that because I thought they were. I thought they were completely two different tracks, because I still have. I, I didn't develop so much to understand it. So I thought they were. I thought they were two
Yeah.
contradictory things,
Mm.
and that I had to choose between playing heavy, loud, electrical, amplified music,
Yeah.
or retreating in meditation retreat and all of that.
Mm.
And there was this sort of, Jung would say, tension of the opposite,
Yeah.
until I discovered that these two things were really, for me, I'm not made like anyone else, and luckily no one else needs to be like me. But there were two things that were really feeding each other,
Yeah.
and I think if for how I'm built, there was only the traditional spiritual path, with
Mm.
the retreats and all of that, and the meditation every day, and this and that, without the loud, crashing,
Yeah.
cathartic. I don't know how it would go, because music for me, as soon as we started in the beginning of Zoo, really going deep inside it, music has been the most cathartic,
Mm.
the most healing force I've experienced,
Mm.
and it's still like that, and I can speak firsthand because I was really troubled,
Mm.
and music and the power, both, of course, was not. Was not self-contained within myself. It was like in the world as a listener of bands,
Yeah.
of albums, both as a listener and then understanding how you could go deep and develop a music that had this quality, this cathartic,
Mm.
purifying quality that, first of all, affects you. You think, just I, I kind of remember the first time that I went out of the practice room, of the old rehearsal room, now to say in English, and thinking, well, I feel better.
Mm.
I feel better than when I arrived today,
Yeah.
And then slowly this thing, and then you realize that you play music and you feel better, and someone comes to you after some time I still remember it was in the first time was very shocking because it was in Mostar in ex-Yugoslavia, in Bosnia, you know.
In
And we
Bosnia, yeah.
went, we went there in 2001. The first time was right after the war,
Wow.
and we play in this destroyed town. And the guys who organized the show were called Post-Pessimistic Company Organization. And I asked, why post-pessimistic? And they replied, because we were pessimistic before the war. Now we are post-pessimistic. And this girl coming after the show saying that she, during the day, she was thinking about her dead brother and she was very sad and she was almost not coming to the show. But after the show, she felt this good energy and she's like, I want to go on. And I thought about that conversation
Yeah.
all night after, and I thought, wow, music can do this. Music
Yeah.
can do this.
Yeah.
I felt like it's beyond what I thought. No, I never thought music is about entertainment. I mean, it can be, but it's
Yeah.
another sport. It's another league. It's another sport. It's other
I agree.
rules. That's entertainment. But what interests me also as a listener is not entertainment. It's another thing. And
Yeah.
yeah, oh, sorry, I have to. I don't. Yeah, there was a phone call coming.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really interesting. I mean that I really hear you with that. Particularly on when you were talking about those uh, two tracks. The
Hmm.
sort of there's the music and the sort of spirituality, and
Yeah.
usually, yeah, I felt the same with the sort when I was a kid. So when I from 8 years old, I was trained. I did all my exams in cello, in the cello.
Hmm.
So I was classically trained. I did all my
Wow.
exams and things like
Hmm.
that. And then, so I started at 8 years old. And then by the time I was, I don't know, maybe like 11, probably 12, I started listening to punk.
Hmm.
And when I was training to be to play the cello, it was
Hmm.
a classical framework. It was a framework. You don't move out of this. You
Yeah.
stay in this on this track.
Hmm.
So I could talking about I couldn't reconcile these opposites of like listen and you talked about that tension. There was this tension inside of
Hmm.
me that was
Hmm.
pulling me in the direction of sort of punk music. Yet I was training to sort of play the cello, and it's really and I didn't get that. I didn't understand what was sort of going on
Hmm.
until sort of quite recently.
Yeah. 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 Much later, understand.
Yeah,
Understand. It's the same for me. It's a lifetime of
yeah.
yeah process. It's a lifetime long
It
process.
really it really is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the record then, and this incredible piece of work really is.
Thank you.
How did it sort of come about? Is there a story behind it?
Mm. Okay. On one side, what comes, we also in this lifelong process,
Mm,
we learn slowly, we learn absolutely not to force anything, like pushing things in a direction, in a pre-cognite direction.
yes, yeah,
This is pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, I don't mean for everyone, but it's pretty much the end of music.
mm,
And you have to be also the spiritual training helps because if you think the basic teaching of Bhagavad Gita is
mm,
enjoy the action, don't refrain from action, enjoy the action without thinking of its fruits. The fruits will
yes,
come. The
yeah,
fruits will event. This is very important to keep, to train your mind and to see where it goes off. No?
Yeah.
And because today's world, if you do that and you tell people, even alternative people, I don't mean normal people who, I don't know, who
Yeah.
go
Kind of like sort of
to
work
the
city
city,
and
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
work
yeah.
jobs, or work in economy. But if even in the world of music, if, if they listen, no agenda,
Mm,
no agenda, no, it's like a complete bet, but it's the best thing you can do with your life. I mean, no, it's like you fall in love. There's no contract that it will last. No, but you have to go for it. And it's the same with music. It's the same with
mm,
music. Like you have to do that, and so the most important thing is you don't want to. mm, oh, we have to do that because we are true, because our audience likes that album. We know which album our audience likes, so let's try to recreate that album again and again.
yeah, yeah,
Of
yeah,
course, we would play bigger clubs if we did that.
yeah,
No, no, no. But at the same time, music wouldn't have the spirit, wouldn't have the
yeah,
fire. No, say like Heraclitus, wouldn't have that fire that we
yeah,
still feel. Maybe there will come a day when we don't feel it anymore, but we still feel it big time. We
yeah.
actually probably feel it more now than years ago. No, so it's not a youth.
Mm,
Thing like the energy of youth and rock and roll. It's not about that because
yeah,
it's there's more fire, there's more burning in the music now. So definitely. So the first thing I would say that we learn to write in a way that the material just appears. We play,
yeah,
and the material appears, and with the material we learn to see the images. Before it took a longer time, but there was like a training in this, and we can tell each other after a rehearsal, after rehearsing a piece, like, oh, I saw this, I
mm,
felt that I felt I was there, I felt I was in this scene, and many times in this process with this album we saw the same things, even
yeah,
laughing, of course, because like, oh, I was in a corridor and there were people there was dark corridor, people with torches,
yeah,
and there was these strange beings that were running away, and we saw the same image.
yeah, yeah.
So on one side, the theme of the record like self
Mm,
appeared, yeah. And we wrote for 1 year every day of the week, all day long,
mm,
and this only not when we were touring or playing shows, but otherwise really keep it very, 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 very constantly,
yeah,
this pace. And when you immerse yourself so much in the process, you become to dream. Like for
mm,
example, there was the finale of I don't remember, one of the two, La donna vestita di sole, probably. And we decide to erase it.
mm,
It's like, no, okay, no, 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 we erase it. And in the night, there was a figure coming in my dream saying, "You have to put that track, that piece back in the track, in the
really?
dream." Yeah.
Oh, wow,
So,
wow,
yeah,
that's wild.
uh, yeah, but because you go you are so immersed in this, that it
Yeah,
becomes part of your psychic life. It's not something like you do and then you undo,
mm,
and also we moved to a very small and small town south of Bologna, and
mm,
so it's not like we go out of the rehearsal room and we just go home, and the
yeah,
next day. So you're really immersed
yeah.
in this thing, and so it becomes part of your psychic life. So you never leave it, and a lot of things are in dreams as well. They arrive in dreams.
When did you move to the town that you're in now? Is that quite recent?
Is like 2 years ago. 2
2 years
years
ago,
ago.
okay.
Yeah.
And do you to how are you impacted by that environment, that physical environment that you're in now compared to where you were where you've lived previously? Does that
Mm.
physical environment matter?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel it matters. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not sure. You never know, but I'm not sure if because we are from Rome originally,
yeah,
and then I was living in Bologna, Paolo also.
yeah.
I'm not sure if this album could be born in a big city.
Wow. Okay.
Because there's something about this. I don't know. I feel it a little bit on a psychic level. I feel it. I feel that a small place like this is a little bit lighter and a little bit less pressure. I really feel it, the pressure
Yeah.
of and
Of a city.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I know what you
yeah.
mean. Yeah,
Mm, mm. So it leaves you a little bit more space
it does.
inside. Yeah.
It does because we spend probably, I mean, maybe 5 months of the year in Spain in a sort of
Mm,
fairly quiet part,
mm,
and it's strange, the sort of the coming back to London, you sort of feel there's a tension, if that's or just like,
yeah.
okay, I'm coming into the city, and there's that energy, and it's sometimes positive energy, sometimes it's
Yeah.
negative
Of course.
energy
Yeah.
that's around. And
Yeah.
I think you need that, but it's interesting that that different feel that you have when you come back to the city compared to being around in. And what I was saying in the intro actually
Mm,
about nature, when I was listening to that interview or the conversation with the author Richard Powers, I was actually in Spain, and I was out walking in the hills, and there's all this kind of nature, and there was like this. I remember this tree, like on its own. There were no trees around it for, I don't know, like there was nothing around, just this
mm,
solitary tree that had survived some of the the fires, the fires of summer. And I
mm,
thought, wow, that is really just kind of like incredible
mm, mm.
that you sort of have that, and that kind of solitude, yeah, and that creates a different sort of mindset for you.
It does. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of course. Yeah. But
It
it's just not. No, it's not a recipe for anything. It's just some part of your life are better.
Yeah.
Like you don't need that. I mean, collective. No, the collective is very strong, bad and good and bad from
Mm,
this. No, like if you're
mm,
part of a scene, if this is a moment where the cultural revolution
yeah.
and all of that. No, I understand the city and that frenzy, but yeah,
And
in
this
this
is
moment.
yeah, sorry.
Mm,
I think that those feelings that you get, you can't control those. Those are it's your stage of life.
yeah,
And it strikes me that what the way that you write, the way that you kind of create, where it happens, is
yeah,
is really sort of in tune with that. It's letting your kind of, without getting too kind of, it's letting your mind and your body just kind of taking charge of what
yeah,
you do, which makes me think
yeah.
of other
Mm,
bands that, for
mm,
example, are on, labels where, labels are saying we need to have an album next year.
yeah,
That kind of pressure that must come into your mind is, yeah, the way that you describe it makes it very clear the difference that exists.
yeah, yeah. I can't imagine being in a band that is so big that has actually people working for them that depend on the band activity. And they
Yeah,
cannot say, "Listen, we take no, we're rich as fuck,
yeah,
but we cannot take 1 year off."
yeah.
Because we have all these people and all these demands and all of that. It's like it must be. I can't imagine being in that skin.
Yeah.
Must
Yeah.
must be very hard for me,
Yeah.
for the way I roll. But even for us, not having a tour manager, for example, means that
Mm.
as soon as we have a day off, like if we're in London, we go to Stonehenge, or we go to
Yeah.
Avebury, or if we are in Paris, we go to the Chartres Cathedral. We are
Mm.
free to do those things, and those things feed you. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they feed you. I mean, it's not that everyone must go to the spiritual places, but maybe if you have a day off and go to, instead, if you are in that really more machine and very organized,
Yeah.
it's probably
Yeah.
good for you. But yeah, then I guess it can become a little bit, how do you say? I missed the word now. Uh, like you go in a state of not being so well connected,
Mm.
because you're always you are in that thing. But the thing I was thinking when you were asking, the we are always the first people who put the pressure. You don't need the label, you don't need the management, because there's a part of us that absorb all the world platitudes, all the world.
Mm.
You should be like this. I mean, no one is free from that. You can work on yourself to free yourself from that, but no one is free, because the world is very good
It's
uh,
yeah.
at entering and becoming you, and so you
Yeah.
think you need this and that. You need to be bigger, all
Yeah.
this. I heard musician, we have to make it. We have to do the big step. We have to make it bigger every album. I think it's the most far from organic life that you can think of.
Yeah.
Organic
Yeah.
life is just cycles of death, life, and it's more about beauty. It's more about the cycles, and it's not about I have to, this a wood or a forest. It's not like we need to grow 5%.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
no,
very true. Yeah. That's
yeah. I
very
mean,
true.
I mean, yeah, yeah. But I think you need to keep this in mind, that you have to redefine. No, I mean, you have these notions inside you. It's like these words, success. No, because everyone spoke about those things. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
success, ambition.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
just need to redefine these words. For me at least, I found this. No, so I put the word ambition in a way that is ambition to.
Yeah.
I have ambition, but I put it in the sense of making the best music that I can offer, that I can do.
Yeah.
This is my ambition.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and everything else
It's
is really out of my hand. I can do it, but it's out of my hand.
this is interesting. This idea of for the general population, people, and about what success is.
Hmm.
And it's interesting. Like I've done probably maybe about 160 episodes of this podcast, and not sometimes I've talked about success with some musicians, and most of them, I think there's been very few who've talked about success as meaning to kind of grow their audience, those kind of measurements. Very few.
Hmm.
Most have said, vast majority have said, it's to make the best music that I feel that I can, that
Hmm.
and that kind of personal fulfillment,
Yeah.
which I think is so important. But I think that there's so much of the world outside of there that is
Mm.
about, kind of material success. And,
Yeah.
success is measured by whether you get a promotion at work, whether you,
Yeah.
buy a bigger house,
Yeah. Yeah. I
those sort
understand.
of things.
I
And I always
understand.
think of comparing that to, when you think like that of like the Hungry Ghost, the story
Yeah.
of the Hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yes. 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 It's also one of the Buddhist afterlife hells. No, the hungry ghost.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly. Never enough. They're never enough.
they're never enough. Yeah.
They're never enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think if there's one thing that I would like to change, well, there's a few things I'd like to change in the world, but it's that kind of mentality that, I guess the kind of capitalist world has sort of brought on us, that
Yeah.
this sort of materiality. But
I don't know if it's even the capitalist word, but from my point of view, is that if you completely remove any form of otherworldliness, no,
yeah,
no, and just reduce also your thought process to a minimum,
mm,
not to this black and white, left and right,
yeah,
A or B, no,
yeah,
which is really the lowest common denominator of thinking,
yeah, yeah,
no? And
absolutely,
so atheist or theist or Catholic, for example, no?
yeah,
This is absolutely, it's unbelievable, no? It's unbelievable. It's really like, no. I'm atheist. No, you hear I am atheist because I don't trust the church. I don't trust the church too,
mm, yeah,
but no. I think when you remove completely every sense and you just give to the society this structure where there's either no religious dogma that doesn't mean anything anymore,
yeah,
or there is scientific dogma,
mm,
which is also a dogma, uh, as I see it, is from at least 100 years old, that is completely expired because
mm,
no already quantum physics open to all kinds of otherworldly possibilities.
mm,
And if you hear, there's an incredible Italian scientist called Federico Faggin, which is the inventor of microchip. I mean,
mm.
he's not just the guy from next door. He's the inventor of microchip, and he's the inventor of these kinds of screen that we all use.
Okay,
Yeah, and he speaks about consciousness. It's
mm,
all about consciousness, no? And if you hear him, it's really like the conversation starts to be really interesting, because if there is only if there i- if you reduce the world to materialism, then
mm,
of course you become obsessed with materialism. It's not even
yeah,
capital. You don't even need capitalism at that
yeah,
point. You
yeah,
become just obsessed
materialism, yeah,
with materialism, because there's nothing else, and this is all you have, and this is your only life, and there's
yeah,
nothing else. So you want things, no?
yeah,
And
yes,
there's a
yeah,
mythology structure inside you. And okay, we remove the old-fashioned god from this mythology,
mm,
no? But if you're not able to have a decent substitute to that mythology,
yeah,
inside you, to those archetypes inside you, who will you put instead of God there in that in
yeah, yeah,
that in that void now that you have? What will you put? And I
yeah,
think for most people, they will put their own ego,
yeah, yeah.
and their own ego just becomes the object of worship and
It
veneration. They
does.
just want to fulfill whatever their ego says, and then
Absolutely, yes.
I think this is my set list.
I completely agree with you.
Mm,
I really do think you know the ego when it gets out of control, when it's
yeah.
allowed to get out of control, is such
Mm,
a can be such a destructive thing.
yeah.
You can't get rid of it. You can't avoid it.
No, no, of course.
But you know yeah, and I think today as well we kind of see the ego in so many people has become sort of uncontrolled, and this is really what's I think yeah what's sort of causing a lot of this the division. But also when people kind of it makes me think of sort of musicians, or any kind of people who sort of come together with the same, let's call them values,
Hmm.
or kind of way of living life, and how over a long period of time because like you're saying, we live in a world where the world exerts pressures on us and influences, and that can take us in different directions, which we can't always predict.
Mm.
But how musicians, kind of, for example, you and Luca, kind of stay together, and you kind of keep the same. You're on a sort of journey together where you maintain those same values to
Yeah,
like
and we
together.
check on, yeah, we check on each other also a lot, which is
Yeah,
very lucky.
which is really important,
Yeah.
to kind of do that.
Hmm.
But it makes me think of those sort of relationships that are so difficult to kind of maintain through so many years.
Yeah. Yes.
Go- if we
Yeah.
just if it's okay to sort of go back to when you were growing up, when
Hmm.
you were a kid, of
Hmm.
I'm always interested in some of the you know formative influences that you can remember, things that not necessarily music, but just either people that you were hanging out with, or the way of life that sort of influenced you, and I guess kind of shaped who you are today.
Hmm. Well, yeah, this is a huge question. This is a
It
huge
is.
question.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. But no, uh, um, well, going back to me and Luca, we met when we were 14,
Mm,
and we met at the concert by Saxon. You remember the hair metal band
yeah.
Saxon? Yeah, we
Yes.
met at the Saxon concert when we were
Wow.
14, and we were, yeah, little metal kids. And then we discovered we were from the same neighborhood and start meeting on the street, and slowly, develop friendship, and then
Mm,
started to play music, and yeah, all of that. So it's like, yeah, it's a lifelong
yeah.
friendship, and yeah, it's very lucky. I understand that it's very unique, this thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes the Italy where we grew up. Um, if you recently we were watching a documentary, and there was this chart of the most of the LP chart, the
Yeah.
bestsellers. I don't know
Yeah.
how you say that. It was called Hit Parade in Italy.
The
Uh,
hip pro. Yes. Yes. I
yeah,
remember. I remember.
yeah. And so there was this photo from the Hit Parade, and we were Hit Parade in Italy was Van der Graaf Generator,
Oh, wow. Yes.
Genesis, Pink Floyd.
Yep.
Now I don't remember. Maybe King Crimson, and I don't know. I don't know.
Bands like Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
stuff
or
like that.
Tangerine Dream. That.
Tangerine Dream. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was huge. Um, so we grew up in Austria, which was still is, but back then was really ghetto.
Mm,
And everyone had hi-fi. Every house was an hi-fi, and
mm.
everyone had the Dark Side of the Moon. Everyone,
Everyone.
the Dark
Yeah.
Side of the Moon was everywhere. You know, maybe the next album was Julio Iglesias,
Yeah.
but but everyone had Dark Side of the Moon. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I had an older cousin who played to me Adomert Mother
Mm,
when I was not older than 4 years old, and he played to me Adomert Mother,
yeah.
and that made an impact.
Right.
That made an impact. I can tell you because I remember it. So
Yeah.
if it didn't make an impact, I wouldn't remember it. I
At four
remember
years old. Yeah, for
I
sure.
remember him holding the cover with the cow and pointing to me, and playing this album.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
this was, and we were not alternative people of any kind. It was just that music was everywhere.
Yeah.
So we grew up we grew up in that world, and
mm,
what I feel
mm,
now is that that layer of music as a complete wonder, because
mm.
when you don't have any categories, you see these covers and you hear these sounds, and it's just wonder.
Yeah,
It-
yeah,
and so, and this is before you can tell punk is cool and prog is shit, all
yeah,
this
yeah.
all those layers, all this comes later in life, and all the,
It does. It does.
yeah, the advertisement machine, and so that layer is there, and when you, I think, arrive and you allow yourself to just go in the rehearsal room and play and
Mm,
whatever comes, and you don't
mm.
even need to sound like true, what comes.
Yeah,
Then all the older layers, I feel them. I feel I feel for the first time in this album that the older layers
yeah,
are coming to the surface.
yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, because there's something when how the mind works. If you do a little bit of observation of the mind, if you work, if you compose with your mind, like at home, you try to write, there will be always something in your mind that wants to achieve, like to sound like a band, to sound like a song,
yeah,
to
yeah,
there will always be a reference in your mind.
yeah,
I mean, for me, maybe for some people, no, maybe for not for other,
yeah,
but when you just are in a state of all, I don't know, it's channeling, then just playing together, and you arrive
yeah,
to a point where you don't know who is driving and
yeah,
and what is happening, but arrive to a point where you look at each other. It's like, yeah, press the recording button because press it,
yeah,
and maybe you were with closed eyes for 20 minutes, but in that moment you're looking at each other because you both feel, or everyone feels like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
we record this.
yeah,
And so, yeah, we ended up with hours and hours and hours of those moments.
yeah,
And then was the hard part of listening back, and
yeah,
but yeah, but it's they come, I feel they come from a different place. And whenever I still try to write one thing at home and bring it to zoo, but
yeah.
it doesn't have the same energy and the same power.
Mm,
It never has the same power than the stuff that comes together.
mm, mm.
Mm,
I remember as you were talking there, saying about there's a part of you that wanting to sound like something else.
mm-mm.
You can't. You have to. Your brain tells you to do that. I remember the very first episode of this podcast. It was with Dave Barbarossa, who was the first drummer in Adam and the Ants, and then
Oh
went
wow.
with Bow Wow Wow.
Mm.
And
Oh.
he said the most important lesson that he learnt was from Malcolm McLaren,
Hmm.
and Malcolm McLaren told him, "Don't ever try to compete."
Yeah.
And basically what he meant was don't ever try to, be like somebody else in whatever
Mm-mm.
way, because then you lose your own identity and your own
Yeah.
originality. And it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
true. It's so very
Yeah.
true that
Yeah. I think
there's a
this is the bit.
no, go on.
No, I think this is the bit that we took from punk rock.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to try. But he said again, it's punk is such an interesting part of history when
Hmm.
it kind of started out with that like it was so different. It was so, kind of original. And then it
Yeah.
became this bigger movement.
Hmm.
And then things all started to sound the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But this is
I'm
what human do all the time, no?
this is exactly it's exactly right. That's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. That it's
Yeah.
like when things start to grow,
Mm.
it it loses its sort of it becomes. Yeah, it starts to lose its originality because
Hmm.
people start copying, and
Yeah,
I do think that when and it's the same with institutions, they become institutionalized,
yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah, and pretty much every major spiritual tradition had, no,
Yeah,
after the teacher dies,
yeah,
is a yeah, mostly is the same, no,
yeah,
is mostly the same. Yeah, yeah, it happens all the time, and maybe it's I don't know. Yeah, it's a call to that everyone, no,
yeah.
needs to do that work.
So thinking about, I mean, we talked maybe a sort of couple of times. We talked about the Hungry Ghost and that sort of Buddhist tradition.
Mhm, mhm.
In a similar well, in a kind of Buddhist way, how have you felt your own identity sort of changing over the years? Have you felt that? Because like for me personally, I really feel like I like I have my life sort of changed a lot probably in around about 2018 when I
Mhm.
started. I started this podcast in 2021. Even things that I was doing, it felt like
Mhm.
it was almost like a the real me that was coming out.
Mhm. Mhm.
This is
Understand.
like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
who it's like who I was supposed to be. This is what
Mhm.
I need to do, but I'd never done it
Mhm.
before. It's
Mhm.
have you
Beautiful.
felt about that over the years?
Yeah, I've I feel definitely more relaxed about things, and I think that in general, the last years, 2020 onwards,
Mm,
have been such a challenge on every level in the
mm,
trial, and that I don't see how you can come out unchanged by all of this,
yeah.
yeah, mm, and the state of the world,
Mm,
and because it's always a relationship, we're not in a vacuum, so it's always this relationship back and forth with
yeah.
the world, and yeah, from you say from a Buddhist because let's say that it was part of my spiritual upbringing, the Buddhist path, because it was far enough because I was coming from before squats, very leftist, very so
Mm,
Buddhism in that sense and Zen they were far enough to not be a danger for my personality, you know.
yes, yes,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
something I could do without going danger, and it took me very 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 long time to go back to the Gospels,
Mm,
to our tradition. It took a very long time.
mm,
Um, from a Buddhist perspective of identity, there's no identity, so that's fair, no? So
yeah,
we are
yeah,
we are flux, we're a flux of
yeah.
consciousness, and there's no pretty much not something you can hold on to as if this is me.
Yeah.
So you can relax in that and see
Mm,
how everything changes and something slower, something faster, and everything is
mm,
and probably the what is unchanging is what is unchanging is something that you can from time to time feel or
mm,
it appears from time to time. It
yeah.
appears. That that thing without definitions and words.
Mm,
And when it appears, it is like mm, I feel it's like breathing, breathing so much life. Just a moment of
mm,
and doesn't think about anything mystic. It's not particularly mystic. It's really like a moment when you are listening to a piece of music under the stars and you look up and and just you're connected to the whole thing, and it's enough to keep you going for a while. To go back in your little box with all your worries and preoccupations and things to do. But those moments give life. Yeah.
It's interesting that I guess the world, the world is so volatile and uncertain now. It's really it's also really complicated as well. It's like so difficult to sort of get things done and I don't know. It's to get and I think more and more people are sort of feeling that now. I think everybody is sort of feeling that now, but it feels difficult to. I guess we're having to sort of live with that uncertainty. And when you have that, when you don't feel grounded in some way, when you feel like you're kind of floating, but not floating in a good way, you're sort of floating and you don't know where things are going. That for a lot of people is a really difficult place to be.
Yeah. Yes, because I mean, sorry, there was
no. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know if
no,
I was
because
asking...
so because I think again speaking about the world, the world is a very Christian concept, because they say in Christianity, in traditional Christian, esoteric also Christianity, they say be in the world, to be in the world, but not of the world.
Of the world, yeah.
No, because we cannot not be in the world, but we can be of the world less and less if we can. No, I mean the world. I mean, I don't know how it is in UK, but here, pretty much, families teach to their children that the most important thing is buying a house. Is buying a house. This is what you're born for. You're born to buy a house. And,
Yes.
And the whole program. The whole program.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to let's say contradict them.
Contradict.
To be to have the force to be a delusion.
Absolutely.
No,
you're right.
I think you have to have the force to be a delusion.
Absolutely.
For someone. I guess I'm pretty sure that no one from my original family will watch this, so I can tell you. But I went after many years. I went to visit an aunt, and feeling also a little bit guilty because I completely had not seen anyone from my original family after my parents had died. And when I went there, she basically told me how all my the others in my family were a big success, because they bought a house. And I didn't buy a house, so I was a failure. And I went out thinking, my goodness, it was really good that I didn't see that. So we have those programs, we have those programs, and if we have those programs inside, then living with the uncertainty, see, I mean, now everything is for your safety. Now we have seen, everything they do. Of course, I mean, you don't go to do the Nazi sign, now.
Yeah.
That PR stunt doesn't work anymore. So now it's for your safety because we are so worried about you people, So you have to do this because we do it for you because we are so good.
We're
No,
so
we are the
concerned. Yeah.
yeah, we are the government, we are the big corporations, and we are so concerned about you. You have no idea. So don't say no because you are a bad boy if you say no.
So
No, so
true.
yeah, so this world, everything is about safety, and it's. I will tell you something. I'll go back to the album. When we wrote our first album, we released it in '99. We wrote it since '97. We had no idea if anyone would release it first,
Mm,
if anyone would be interested,
yeah.
if we would be able to make one tour. We had no idea. We had
Yeah.
no, absolutely. So the result was that we tried to put everything we had inside in that album.
Yeah.
And at one point we had to stop and say, okay, we book a studio because we're going crazy. So after that album, was different years, and we realized, okay, there are labels, there are shows. We pretty much start to do this thing. So I never thought again that an album. I mean, an album was important, was great, but
Mm,
it was never this sense like, this might be. I don't know, probably not. I don't want to sound pessimistic, but there's also one possibility that it is the last one.
mm, mm,
I never had it for the next 25 years
mm.
until this one. This one, when we were writing, sometimes going back and thought, this music. If this is the last one, I'm okay. If this is
Mm,
the last one, no, I didn't feel that sense before. Never. I
mm.
felt it
For
for
this
this
one.
because yeah, for this one, not just state of the world is such borderline
Yeah.
right now. No, it's full, but it's like borderline. It's like no one step in the wrong direction is, and it's shit
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
One bad decision from one of the guy with the button,
With the button.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a shit for everyone, and
Yeah.
we've never been so close, and so what it translates in music is I give
Interesting.
it all. I give it all, and and I hope it's something that is feeds something in the listener, and it's in some ways healing, and in some ways it's something good for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak for myself, and it feels like that. Yeah, the power of it is actually is really positive, and I think it's because it is because of that. It it feels like there is that sort of connection with nature, which is in itself just sort of so powerful. When you see kind of like sort of natural disasters, and you feel
Mm-hmm.
we spent, as I said, we spent quite a bit of time in Spain, and some of the flooding. You see some of the flooding and the power of
Mm-hmm.
the water there, and I do feel that with your record that it has that sort of connection. It feels like there is this sort of power, which is I completely hear you about the state of the world. That yes, this could be it. But because of that nature connection, there's for me there is this sort of positivity with it there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
almost like
yeah.
a kind of healing or a something to sort of grasp and to sort of hold on to. I
Mhm.
always feel like there's the with music, because music is like for me has always been, it's always been there for me, always since I
Mhm.
first started listening to it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
probably sort of like sort of going back to when before I was born even. But I think the because I've forgotten what I was going to say now. What was I going to say? I've completely lost my train of thought now.
No.
But
So,
it's like I think because it is always there, and there is that sort of power with it. I just sort of feel these kind of connections. Like it
yeah,
can, sorry, I've remembered now. Because of that, when there are musicians that are still producing music that really matters, and music that really sort of hits me inside, there's a safety and there's a security and a comfort that they are still there producing that music that matters. I don't know if I've explained myself very well, but
yeah, yeah, yes.
when I hear the record, when I hear you producing your music, when I hear like other bands that I really love and respect, and
Mm,
they may be delivering a message, a political message or a social
mm,
message, and
mm,
it hits you, and it's like, thank God they're still here and doing that.
yeah, yes, yeah, and it's really it's like the crazy optimist, no, in a sense.
Yes, yes,
It's
exactly,
crazy
yeah,
optimist to be
yeah,
doing this without, with without a safety net.
yeah,
Some of us with families. Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, so I only want to add one thing because
You have to go.
I'm being called to go. We fly to Sardinia. We play tomorrow.
Ah, yeah,
That no what just not to sound too doom and gloom. I'm not saying necessarily that it's the last album because fuck we are dead. We're all
no,
dead
sure,
tomorrow.
sure, yeah,
But the conditions like the economical is also on the brink. That
mm,
you realize that I mean, what we do is not again, no, it's like the teaching of Buddhism, complete interdependence of everything. No, you
hmm
see, you go to an airport and one thing is broken in the line of luggage, and the whole airport exploded, and the flights can go. No, it's one thing. No, so you realize that what we do is so uh, fragile,
yes, yes,
so fragile, so
it's very true.
and of course it's so fragile and so precious at the same time. Even on a small scale, like we do, when we touring with the van, or once in a while with flying to a place to play a festival or show, but it's so linked to a lot of outside conditions that may and of course, if there are not those conditions, there'll be no budget for us to rent a studio.
Yeah,
All of that is so interrelated and it's so fragile.
fragile's the right
So
word. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So that's why I have this sense of this one. We put everything in this
put so
one.
much into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, without any sense of no. What future brings will we'll see. We'll see.
Massimo, I must let you go. Thanks
Thank
so
you,
much.
Julie.
It's been great
Really
to
a
talk
pleasure.
to you. Really great.
Really a pleasure. Very different conversation.